Welcome back to Reactions, Rants, and Rabbit Holes, or welcome to, for the very first time, Pop Evil. I don't think has been on the channel, but oddly enough, they're one of my, I've lived a decent life. I've done a couple things, nothing too successful, but I've had a good time. But one of my my best flexes in this entire life is the list of bands that I fed. And Pop Evil is up there. Now it was one day, one moment of their life I would never expect them to remember. But they're riding their mini bike around. Now this was, I think, when their first hit, their first when they broke, because they were still touring. This was a small club, but they were getting big. And I remember, I think it was a roadie, but it could have been one of the band members rode the damn dirt bike into the ditch. But these guys were fun, laid back, and it was a pleasure feeding them food and having them at the club. It wasn't my club. I'm just a cook. But I was able to hang out back, and it was cool. They were good. They were good people. So that's all I remember. But I only knew them for, a few hours. Wishful thinking is that it mattered. It don't.
Turn your back, the blow was low. You stood behind the noose, you tied the rope. Time when it pulls off track, make believe someone don't react. Ignore the signs and let it all go. And then one day I realized you'll never change. It'll never sink in. Too late to change your mind. What a shame, all the wishful thinking. Now I know there's nothing waiting. Now I know that nothing's guaranteed. One day you'll realize, no, never mind. It's just wishful thinking. I was naive, you were yourself. You played your best to put me through hell. Stab my back and you don't think twice. Bite the hand and you won't survive. I turn my back, the blow was low. And then one day I realized you'll never change. It'll never sink in. Too late to change your mind. What a shame, all the wishful thinking. Now I know there's nothing waiting. Now I know that nothing's guaranteed. One day you'll realize, no, never mind. It's just wishful thinking. It's just wishful thinking. Should've known better that you can't be saved. Should've seen it coming, now the debt's been paid. Should've known better that you can't be saved. I should've seen it coming, that you take your own grave.
Oh, I was literally just thinking to myself how the chiller vocal brings that beginning heaviness down, really offsets it, and then this break is just brutal. Wishful thinking, Pop Evil is pretty cool. It's not a bad track at all. For a first listen, hell yeah, I'd look for a second.
Better that you can't be saved. Should've seen it coming, now the debt's been paid. Should've known better that you can't be saved.
Nice. Ooh, creepy. Creepy there at the end. But very cool. Pop Evil Wishful Thinking. Now, in the description is a link to the original. Being I really just sat there and listened. I can't tell you anything more than what a great that was a cool heavy tune. I mean, if you dig heavy music, that could be right up your alley. I'd listen to it again. It's cool. So yeah, any feelings you should probably pay forward to the band. I just like I said, yeah, I fed them. It was cool, and I figured I'd check out what something new they dropped, and because I think they had an extended sound check and actually practiced a couple new songs maybe during their sound check. On a rare occasion, bands did that, and it was that's the high point. Not working, you're on the clock, you standing there at the soundboard or right behind it if they've got their own techs in there. But if it's the house techs and you just watch like this private show sometimes, they said no picture, no autograph, no nothing replaces that. So I'm grateful. It was the least paying, underappreciated job you could get. But on occasion, you got to meet people and find out what they were really about. That was very cool and really helped me put the entire thing in perspective. Especially when you see who had to run to the bathroom. I'm not saying, all present company excluded, but let's just say there was more than one individual who was mainlining it straight to the can because they've been waiting for hours and the bus couldn't stop and they couldn't go because that had been the last straw and you're kicked off the tour. It's weird what you learned. That the show was a lot different than the load and the unload. It's pretty cool. Pop Evil, Wishful Thinking. Every now and then I realize it's just wishful thinking that I had a time machine because I'd go do all that shit again if I could. Later.